The station of the stars. RTI.
That'll be us then on Postcard from Poprad, live on just about everything, including the Mexican wave now. It is rather bonkers. We will cross straight over to Melbourne first, I think, to enable the lovely Rachel Brunsden to wish the world a happy day.
Oh, happy day. It's 9 p.m. on the east coast of Australia, just in case anybody was wondering about that.
Really?
Yes.
That's flipping early.
And it is now because you guys started daylight saving and we stopped daylight saving. So
Right.
it went back to what I like to call civilised o'clock to do a radio program with the likes of you two.
Yeah. Oh, how nice. Steve says, Steve's in there first. Afternoon all, says Steve. Actually, no, I should do it better there. Afternoon all. That'll be Steve. And in the studio, no less, he's still flaming here. I really didn't pay those border guards enough money. It's Leigh Banks.
How do you do?
How do you do?
I do very well, thank you.
Hang on, we've got very quiet.
Who has?
You has.
I'm very quiet. I'm accused of that all the time.
I think you might have to use that one.
You give me a broken microphone.
No, I haven't. I bet I know what it is.
Oh, it's not switched on.
Try that.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
We'll try that again. There you go.
Yes.
How do you do?
That's better.
Can you hear me now?
If you turn the microphone on, it really helps.
Anyway, I have a complaint to make.
What?
About
I've
you.
got a complaint to make.
I've got a bigger complaint to make than you.
I put you in charge of the cooling fan, and you didn't turn it off.
Because I'm hot.
Turn the darn thing off. Otherwise,
I'm going to make my complaint first.
Oh, go on then.
Rachel, I can't join in with this show because he's forgotten to bring me glasses.
Hey.
Oh, not again. Did
Yes.
he put them on your head like last time?
No, they're not on my head. He's forgotten. I said, make sure I bring me glasses, and he's forgot.
We'll take his glasses.
No, because his is like looking through bottle tops, bottoms.
Yeah,
That's true.
right.
It's like-
Anyway, I'm gonna
it's
if I
like
can find the
duffel
fan, I'm gonna switch it off.
Okay, message for Rach.
Yes.
Good. Rachel is back. Keep them in check, Rach. It was mayhem when you were away.
We're in Slovakia.
Who said that?
Steve.
Steve? Oh, God love you, Steve. I know. Don't worry, I'm back. Except
Are you?
you're not going to be a fan of mine because I'm a fan of royal weddings.
I've just switched the fan off.
I know you have.
Can I tell you the appalling thing that Rob did to me?
Well, I was going to say, before we start proper, and Leigh is just wrecking the studio, which I so lovingly rebuilt this week and tidied up.
I fell over. I could have died.
That would have been good, wouldn't it, Rach?
What, if I'd have died on air? You've done it plenty of times.
Died?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Anyway, this is a moment because it's Rachel's ranting.
All I want to do, I'm really exhausted. I wasn't very well last week and I was exhausted. And I'm still exhausted, although I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you for all the messages from everybody. But all I want to do tomorrow night is, because it's this royal wedding situation happens in our evening, of course. And I want to sit on the couch under my nice warm blankie, because it is winter, and eat popcorn and watch two lovely people. I love a royal wedding, and I just absolutely devour every second of it when it's on television.
Right.
So what has my husband done? What has he done?
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you. Oh, I'm so glad you asked. I'll tell you. He has scheduled. He bought tickets to a show that we've got to go and see tomorrow night. Tomorrow night he's making me leave the house. And how can you do that? It's the royal wedding. How could you? So now I have to go because it's just the right thing to do.
What's the show,
But I don't
Rach?
want to.
But Rach, it's not a problem.
What?
You just put the thing on pause, and it will store it all up for when you come back.
That's not
I
the
don't
same,
have
though,
one
is
of
it,
those
Rach?
devices, Uncle Eric.
You haven't got one?
I don't have one of those devices.
Oh.
What, a recorder?
No.
What show are you going to see?
We're going to see. So I don't know what we're going to see. There's a whole lot of tap dancing involved, apparently.
Rach! I got it.
What?
What?
YouTube channel, the
Yeah.
Monarchy Royal. It's called the Monarchy channel. Everybody, take notice.
Yeah.
If you're stuck, You can go to the Monarchy channel, and you can watch the wedding on there as well, live. But then you can also watch it with it going backwards on YouTube, as you can do anyway, without even having a recorder. How about that?
So you could watch it while you're watching the tap dancing.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'll just take my phone and
Yeah,
just
exactly.
watch it.
Don't worry about it, Rach.
But then people will wonder why I'm weeping in the middle of a tap dancing show.
No,
The tap dancing was so good.
No, but Rach, you could really win on this. Robbie, I've been so good and gone to the theatre with you to enjoy the programme that you wish to watch. Now we're home, make me coffee, get my popcorn, put my blanket over me. I am watching the royal wedding.
Why does he want to go and watch a show about tap dancing?
Tap dancing? I don't know. He loves loves it.
Does he think he's Fred Astaire?
I don't think he thinks. I think he just admires the skill involved, and it is very clever. If anybody's
I'd like to
seen
see
a really
Rob
decent
tap
show.
dancing.
But I wouldn't. Can you imagine the holes in the floor? Oh my god! But there's another crafty thing I'm thinking.
Yes.
Tomorrow morning we are going out shopping to the great big. Anybody who knows Melbourne will know a place called Chadstone, and I think it's the largest shopping mall in the Southern Hemisphere, or something stupid like that. But we're going there, and I'm going to an electronics store where one buys, one's DVDs or records, or they do vinyl. They sell, electronic equipment, etc., etc. So I'm going there to score a couple of DVDs I've been waiting for, and I'm thinking I might purchase a device.
Yes. And get
now it's so you're making me miss the wedding. You better buy this thing here so I don't feel sad.
Yeah, and he's going to pay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I like that. Hi to Eric, that's an Eric with a K, who's a complete maniac. He climbs up the Tatry Mountains on adventure tours.
On a what?
He's crazy.
Adventure
we did
tours.
that.
Oh, adventure tours. I thought it was a bike.
Could you just get a little bit closer to the microphone, darling? Thank you. Just be a broadcaster for once. Hello to Tom Chalice, who's joined us as well. Hi, Tom.
All right, Tom.
Yep, nice to have you with us. I think that's wonderful, Rach. Now, can I have my rant now?
Yes.
Right. There is a group which will remain nameless because I'm not going to promote them. Because they are numpties. One person in particular on there, and there's millions of Andrews around the world. Naomi says, hi. Hi, Naomi.
Hi, Naomi.
Naomi! I know Naomi. She's my friend, and she's joining us for the very first time.
Naomi.
Oh, is it that one? It's not that one.
Epity. Epity?
Yes, you can pronounce it any which way you like, but I know who that is.
Hello, Naomi.
Hello, Naomi.
She looks very pretty.
Don't be so rude.
I'm not being rude. She looks very pretty.
Well, that's not rude, really, is it? If you said she was ugly, that would have been rude, wouldn't
Yes.
it? Yeah, sorry, Naomi.
Yeah, see, I wasn't being rude.
No, I'm sorry. I apologise.
So anyway, there's this numpty Andrew who is on this group, and
Is this in Australia?
no, I can't. Don't say where it is because it gives a clue away.
Should I say who they are then? So
No.
most people will know. Oh,
No.
all right.
No, we don't want to give them. That's the whole point. If you don't say who they are properly, then
Then
they
it's
get angry.
pointless insulting them if you don't say who you're insulting. If you're going to insult somebody, you got to name them.
No, because they don't get the publicity, which is what they want.
But then you're talking about nothing.
No, I'm going to tell the story. So
Go
you've
on.
got this idiot called Andrew,
Yeah.
who's being very naughty about the royal family and the wedding. Then he starts to call Prince George, who,
This is
bearing in
pretty
mind,
low, actually, isn't it?
yeah, bearing in mind he's a child, he calls him a willy head, but with the different words.
You're joking. I
No,
didn't see
He's
that.
like 4, isn't he? Is he 4 or
He's about
5?
4 years old. So you've got a 4-year-old kid being insulted by a not man, even though he's got a male name, because he can't be a man, because a man would never insult a 4-year-old child.
Absolutely.
That's
That is
correct.
despicable.
Yes, and so therefore, we would like to share with everybody that if you, as I've just said, you can watch the royal wedding on nearly every channel around the world as a state broadcaster. You can also watch it on Sky News all around the place, especially in Australia. You can watch it there. You can watch it on the Monarchy channel on YouTube. And, you know, if you do have to go to the spend a penny, you can get back in, pause it and get back, just as they say I do. It's not a problem. You can keep going. And you can watch it wherever you like. Also, it's on things like BBC World Service, so you can drive around in your car listening. There are just millions of ways. And what I'm really interested in, do you know what I'm interested in?
I have no idea.
I kind of have this gut feeling that the BBC is about to break streaming records tomorrow.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. Now, if that becomes the biggest streaming event in the world ever, it becomes a Guinness World Record.
Right.
Now, that will upset so many people, it'll be hysterical. And, of course, it would also show that billions love it, and away we go from there. But, no, I'm sorry, Steve, it's not on RTI because we don't have the rights to do that, and so I wouldn't nick it.
No.
It's just... that would be unprofessional.
Can I have a bit of a rant about it as well, then?
Go on, then.
Why not?
Well, yeah, it just... Over the last few days, I've been looking at what the naysayers have got to say about the royal wedding. And there are two things that they accuse the royal family of doing. One is costing the nation a fortune. They don't cost the nation a fortune. No, and that why should we, as a nation, be paying £300,000 for Meghan's wedding dress? Let me put the record straight. First of all, the royal family bring in something like £1.5 billion to the UK coffers
Which is
every
actually
year.
independently valued, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And they cost the nation something in the region of 350 million.
No, not now. It's down.
Is it down? Well, whatever. It's a good investment. And also, for all these silly billies who say, why should we be behind? Nobody came and paid me for my fiver for my wedding dress. She's paying for it out of her own money. So shut up!
Thank you.
She's actually a really big advocate for equality between
What, her dad's
the
a
sexes.
knob?
She's yeah, well that too, but she's a huge advocate for equality within the sexes, and that's and she's campaigned for years about that. She actually spearheaded a campaign when she was 12 years old and got a washing up liquid detergent to change their campaign based on the fact that it wasn't fair and equal.
Good.
So she's not going to have somebody paying for her dress. She's certainly not. And she's made a tidy sum of money working on that great TV show she was working on in the States. So, you know, relax, everybody.
Yeah.
Hello, Ian Gilligan.
Hello, Ian Gilligan.
How you doing, mate?
Have you got an island?
Oh, very droll.
Oh, very droll.
Oh, very droll. Very droll.
Can I just have another last rant
Oh,
very quickly?
goodness. Oh, we do. Do you know what, Rach?
What?
Yes.
He bucked the trend this morning.
I did what?
He bucked the trend.
Oh.
1 hour
What did he
and
do?
40 minutes before the show started, he plugged...
ConsumerWatchFoundation.com.
Well,
Now, look what I've
that
done.
sounds about right. I thought you bucked the trend by going somewhere other than the Cork bypass.
No, let me hold my hands up. The ConsumerWatchFoundation.com, which is probably one of the most fabulous news sites ever invented by any man in the world.
As read by the BBC.
As read by the BBC and the international press across Europe, actually made a mistake. We put some photographs on that we said were from a new filming of Peaky Blinders. Turns out it wasn't. So we did a Peaky blunder and we put it right immediately. And everybody has now been treated to the fact that exclusively there is a show at Christmas this year which will rival Peaky Blinders, and it's being shot now. So says the ConsumerWatchFoundation.com.
What, you mean it's gone bang?
It's been shot. Oh! That's a terrible joke.
Stand up.
That's a terrible joke.
That was good. Very good afternoon to my old mucker Mark Stafford, who's joined us as well. Hello, Mark. I don't like him now.
I don't like him.
He's retired a bit.
Has he?
Yeah.
I used to like him before he retired.
Yeah, he's being lazy monkey now.
Lazy.
I bet he gets his missus to cook the dinner as well.
Does he?
I bet.
What's
He's
nothing
like
wrong with your missus doing the cooking?
Is that right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Can we say a message to our joint friend that we didn't know was our joint friend until 10 minutes ago, Alan Gerard in Stoke-on-Trent?
That's Alan for the rest of us.
Why, what did I say?
Alan.
Oh, did he? I don't think he said it like that.
Well, it was kind of like I was accentuating the obvious, as we say. But anyway, let's move on to a little bit of newsy poos. And I'm really sad about this. Lois Lane's gone.
I know. Best reports.
Oh, Margot Kidder, yeah, beautiful, so gorgeous and lovely. Really had some interesting times after she was Lois Lane. She suffered. She suffered from.
You're being a pervert. Yeah.
I loved her.
If you don't mind.
Oh,
really,
sorry.
Yes, bit of respect. She
sorry,
passed
Rachel.
away. Let's not open the dead, shall we? She suffered from bipolar disorder. And,
is that right?
And found herself in a whole mess of trouble. I think she was once found wandering around and being a bit manic in some stranger's backyard at one point. But
that was fairly recent, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was only a handful of years ago. So she had her troubles, but gosh, she was great in those films, wasn't she? She was so beautiful and just like the ultimate sort of chain-smoking Lois Lane. She was sassy and
just
she was,
Lois Lane was just
hard, and she
awesome.
She was a great role model for women back in the late 70s, early 80s. She was great, and she really she didn't take any rubbish from anybody. She was great.
She didn't. She was lovely. And the only sad thing really is that it was Superman who wore his pants on the outside, not her.
Stop. Look, we had that conversation before we went on air, didn't we? One of those.
That was when we were drunk in the wine bar.
Oh, right, okay. No, it wasn't. Gilligan Island was my old...
Yes, it was.
Oh, wonderful. Ian Gilligan...
I've seen it with my own eyes, drunk in the wine bar. I've seen it.
Ian Gilligan says, Gilligan's Island, which Leigh was referring to, was my old hospital radio. I did over 4 years since... he was doing that there. Brian O'Donovan's joined us from up in the mountains, because that's where he is. Hello, Brian.
Hello, Brian. Brilliant, Mr. Gilligan. I'd like to hear that.
Top of the morning to you, Brian. Anyway, where were we? Yes, we're at... I can't remember the signature tune to Dixon of Dock Green.
Do.
What?
Whistle.
Go on, then.
No, that's terrible.
That
I
was
can't
rubbish.
remember it either.
I know it's there, but it's not.
Do.
No, that's horrible as well.
That's failed as well.
Rach.
Oh dear. I got to tell you, actually, since you were whistling, I got to tell you, and my friend Naomi she will concur.
She's
there was
very
some
pretty.
spectacular whistling going on in the office today at work. There was "Don't Worry, Be Happy" came on the radio, and there was some immense whistling going on. It was wonderful.
Oh.
It was a wonderful jam. It was a whistling jam.
No,
I've got it.
One. Go on then.
Do. Oh, I've lost it again.
Oh, thank you. The version of "Be Happy" song.
Yeah.
That you should all watch.
He sent it to me in Australia.
The High Tatras one.
Oh, the one with the dancing thingies, machines.
No, the young lady on the top of the mountains in a bikini.
Oh, Rachel, just tell him off.
No, it's just
honestly. Excuse me. This is a very serious, hard-hitting news program.
I know. We had dancing diggers.
We were not. This is not the Dick Henry show. This is not Benny Hill. This is not any of these things.
No, sorry. Okay, we move on. Andy Crawford was where we were trying to go. He was in the legendary programme Dixon of Dock Green.
No, Dixon of Dick Green.
No, Dixon of Dock Green, who had the lovely Jack Warner.
It's in the Consumer Watch Foundation as Dixon of Dick Green.
You would do that. And if I remember rightly, Andy Crawford was a detective.
He was the detective. He was married to Sergeant Dixon's daughter.
That's right.
And he was really handsome in a very sort of like hawkish way, and he got grey hair, and he dressed beautifully, and he used to beat people up and all sorts. He was brilliant.
He was indeed.
Now he's dead.
Cat Andrews has joined us.
Hello, Cat.
Cat will be on the radio on RTI this evening, doing his thing as he does regularly. What time is it? Hold on, I'll have a look on the schedule. When is it next? Carnaby Cat is on between 8 and 10 UK Central European time, between 8 and 10, so that's 7 and 9 in the UK.
I've got a bit of hair sticking out here.
Uncle Eric.
What?
Uncle Eric, yell out hello to Fran from the Radio Green Room.
Hello, Fran from the Radio Green Room.
I'm saying nothing.
She's with us.
Is she?
She's with us.
Fran. That was good, wasn't it?
No,
It was all right.
it wasn't all right. It was terrible.
It was
It
okay.
was
Right,
completely
it was terrible,
pointless.
but
Right, okay.
the thought was nice.
It was actually. Rachel's got some breaking news about the wedding before we go into the wedding again.
Ooh.
I do. Oh, poor old Meghan Markle. What a horrible, strange, and unusual family this girl has.
Yep.
Really. I mean, I'll let Uncle Leigh rant about the father and the sister, but I mean, it's terrible that at the last minute she has got no one to give her away. Well, she's got someone now. Guess who's going to give her away? Guess who's walking her down the aisle?
I've forgotten, but I do now.
Go on, have a
The
guess.
Prince of Wales himself.
Yay!
I think that's really nice. I really do. I think, they're rallying around this poor girl with her bonkers fam. Said, don't worry, dear. We're not all bonkers. Some of us are actually allowed outside the castle once in a while, but we certainly won't be taking photos that have been set up by the paparazzi.
Right.
It's all right. We'll walk you down the aisle, loves. Never
And
mind.
do you know what? That is a very gracious, down-to-earth, lovely thing to do.
It is.
Because it completely breaks protocol if you think about it.
It totally
I
does.
suppose it
But,
does,
really.
she's clearly very, even if her dad is bonkers, and it's still her dad, so it does hurt her. It hurts her feelings when he can't be there to, give her away.
Now?
So, good on him. Good on you, Chuck.
Yeah, Lee's going to have a rant in a minute, but we can tell you if you're going to Windsor today, don't bother. It is probably gridlocked all the way round as the troops are marching in the streets ahead of the big day tomorrow, doing all their rehearsals. There are people that have been camping there. This just goes to show how many people want the royal wedding and want to go there. Been camping out for days and days and days just to have a good place to watch. The rest of them, they don't have to worry about it. Of course, poor old Meghan was in tears about her dad, and she was. But now Prince Charles has stepped up to the plate, done the right thing, and taken her down the aisle. Our royal correspondent, Rachel Brunsden, gets the news.
Absolutely. Now, may I rant?
If you wish.
I think it's I do not defend the paparazzi in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Except that they do supply a very large part of the celebrity pictures used across the world.
Yeah.
However, everybody is having a go at the paps again for two reasons. One being... Incorrectly, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. The first one is Meghan's dad, who did a deal with the paps.
Ready? Sound effect? Ka-ching, ka-ching,
Exactly.
ka-ching.
Yeah, and did a deal with them, and it all backfired in his face, quite rightly, because all the press who took the pictures that he invented to be real is now exposing him for the fact that he did this ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching thing to raise money for his own pocket.
Yes.
And now he's had a heart attack and all sorts, and he can't go to the wedding. But what's her 44-year-old sister doing?
Don't.
Oh, she's crackers, that woman. She's out of her mind.
Unbelievable.
She says that she and her husband were driving through wherever it was, Florida or wherever it is, and all of a sudden a naughty paparazzi person jumped out in front of them, making them crash their car. So she can't go to the wedding now. The police have checked 130 miles of road right round where she said it happens. There is no sign
I'll tell
of
you what,
any accident.
You should look up it. I think I have to say I think because I don't know. I think this is a legitimate upload from Good Morning Britain, which I saw, which was Piers interviewing this alleged sister. Well, she's half sister, I think, and he absolutely annihilated her for.
He did. It was great.
You've seen it as well, yeah? He
Yeah, I saw it. It was
absolutely trounced her for profiteering out of her sister's world. And she clearly has not a lot.
No, it's one of those things, in all honesty, if you wanted to make money out of Meghan's wedding and you were her sister or you were her father, you could do it in legitimate, dignified ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just grabbing
It would
a
make
few
you look
quid
like a
here
hero.
and there.
Well, yeah, if you were smart, you'd do it the right way round and be clever.
This bloke...
Exactly.
a dad has been in the media all his life in some form or other. Why don't you just write his book? Make it an honest book. Make it truthful. People have been interested, you big knob.
Well, that was terse.
I'm allowed to say that word. James
I know you
May
are,
says
actually.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we have a message back from Fran. She said, "Hello, Uncle Eric. Hello, Uncle Leigh." See,
How would you
everybody's
do?
calling you that. Everybody. It's gone
Oh,
global.
no!
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
I just, to kind of wrap this thing up, I do believe that people have the right not to watch the wedding.
Of course they do. They've
Sure.
got a right not to like it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is not right for people to be rude, be unbelievably. Well, it's not unprofessional. It's just.
It's ignorant.
It's ignorant, yeah. They're acting worse than children in a playground.
If everybody said
Yes.
that about your wedding, how would you feel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, you'd get very upset about it. So I think you have a right to say, no, I'm not watching it. But when you use parts of the anatomy to describe people, I think...
A child
especially, I think you become lower than the lowest of the lows. And... that's not taking away your opinion.
No.
Your opinion should be, I do not like the royal family, I do not wish to watch. Absolutely fine. I can't argue with that.
But don't lie about them either.
I don't agree with you, but, that's right. But don't lie about them. That is just so badly wrong. We're going to move on. Malaysia Airlines, the investigations come through, and this is a story you put together, Leigh.
Well, yeah, it's Rachel probably actually knows more about it than I do, but I think it's an incredible story. This is the Malaysian plane which vanished, and we did a lot on, if you remember, Rachel, about 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just... I was just going to read that, but he moved it.
Oh, sorry.
It doesn't really matter, because basically what has been decided, this is what happened. That the pilot of that particular flight, MH, whatever that is, 370, actually was on a suicide mission. But what he actually did, he flew into the wildest, most inaccessible part of the ocean and landed his plane perfectly, which meant that everybody on board that plane was trapped in the middle of the ocean.
What they're saying is that he put
Evil.
they suspect that nobody's going to know for sure because they weren't there, but what they suspect took place was that he depressurized the cabin after he put his own oxygen mask on to render everybody on the plane unconscious and basically debilitate them from taking any action. So he did that, but then put his aircraft into the ocean so that it would remain intact.
Right.
Another expert has said that potentially is not what happened, and that he could have just himself have been rendered unconscious and spiraled towards the bottom of the ocean. The interesting thing is about where it took place. So you're right between the Thai-Malaysian frontier, which is a very
dodgy place to go.
remote part of it. Well, it is, and I mean, but it's the one place you can go between Thailand and Malaysia where you will be undetected by either side. So he basically was doing this under the cover of this wild sort of strange part of the universe where nobody much can see you. It's almost like a little Bermuda Triangle all by itself. But the thing that puzzled me too was that and the thing that makes him look even more culpable is that, or guilty even, is that there's flight simulator software on his home computer, which they got at the computers of both of the pilots on the flight deck. His was found to have this simulated program which would enable you to ditch a plane in the ocean. And he'd been practicing how to do this. So, I mean, that's a red flag right there. But also the other pilot it was his first flight on an aircraft of that size. He is supposed to have a captain as a trainer with him when he flies that flight for the first time and didn't. The senior captain who's accused of ditching this plane told him that he didn't require one and that he could come along on this voyage. So he's also got an inexperienced pilot who could not have saved them either. This whole thing is very strange and very mysterious, but so much evidence is leading up to the conclusion that he did this on purpose. And
this was a mass murder in the middle of the air.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Rachel, we've got just time we'll do some messages first. Ian reckons that Elton John's going to play on the piano at the wedding. Which is probably true, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could agree with that. Ian's joined us from the UK. Hello, Ian.
Hello, Ian.
And I'll clean this one up. Cat Andrews, naughty cat. Naughty cat says, although Meghan has a nice derriere, I've cleaned it up. Is that rude, he says. No,
it's not rude. It's just.
They said that about Pippa, didn't they?
They did.
At the last wedding.
Everybody said Pippa got a nice bum. Oh, no, I've said it now.
I don't think anybody gets upset when somebody thinks you have a nice caboose.
No,
so often that after our
me.
lives reach a certain cul-de-sac, our cabooses are not so nice. So if you want to point out a nice caboose, do that.
Yep. Okay, we haven't got time to do that now. We will have to shoot off and do a very quick ad break and be right back. Do not go away.
RTI.
Everybody okay? Remember your training, all right?
RNLI lifeboat crews are unpaid volunteers. They rescue 22 people every day. On a lifeboat, training is a matter of life and death, and it costs £1,000 a year for each crew member. As a charity, we receive no UK government funding, so our crew's safety depends entirely on your donations. Please call 0800 543 210 and donate £20 or whatever you can afford. Because next time, this could be for real.
RTI.
I know we're not supposed to comment on adverts, but as the summer's approaching, I would suggest you give every bit of help you can to the RNLI. They do a wonderful thing. Now, I haven't got indigestion, Cat. I've got, or I'm suffering from, everybody cutting their ruddy grass. And, of course, I'm allergic to that. And then I hurt my big toe last night.
Oh, darling, what happened?
I was clearing up the balcony a bit, ready for you.
It's a very big balcony.
It is, actually. And I stumbled and I hit my big toe against the concrete.
You didn't get upset when I fell on the floor
I actually broke my nail.
Oh, darling, I didn't know it was that serious.
It was. And I tried, they tell you to cut the nail back when you do that. It's so painful I can't.
Oh, so it's just sticking up like that?
A bit.
Have you got socks on?
Yes.
He's got pants on as well, Rachel, for the first time ever since I've been here.
Well, he has to. You're sitting right next to him. It would be indecent of him not to.
Well, that's true. Ian says, hay fever, Eric, join the club. And I've done really well this year. Now, all of a sudden today, it's just hit me. Maybe because I'm just a little bit tired. Dorothy wants us to say hello. So, hello, Dorothy.
Hello, Dorothy.
Hello, Dorothy.
The Australian unemployment figures. Rage.
Yes, well, they wheel these out every once in a while. The thing is, I don't really care much for these stories. They sort of make me think, grown, whatever. Okay, so unemployment is down in some places and up in other places. That's what they're saying.
Is that it, really?
That's the story, isn't it, Rach?
That really is it. But the reason why they wheel these out at certain times is that we're actually coming up to a state election here in Victoria, where unemployment is actually down.
Right.
But they're coming up to that election, and that's towards the end of the year. But it's looking like there's going to be a federal election early next year. So, we know the unemployment figures. They want to deflect off a million different issues, like governments do.
Yeah.
They want to deflect off a million different issues.
Do you know what, Rach? I think these sort of figures should be banned from, say, 3 months in front of an election.
Why? How can you ban people knowing what's going on in the country?
because everybody's trying to manipulate it. It's like a while ago, I knew that the radio station figures were coming out in Slovakia. How did I know? Because all the radio stations were advertising on the TV.
Oh, right.
And it's wrong.
Why?
Because it gives people don't necessarily with certain things remember where they're really at, i.e. they don't remember what radio station, they don't look at the politicians never so much, and they see a story from somebody who goes, oh, look at me, aren't we the most wonderful party on the world because we've got your unemployment down, and they think, oh yeah, and it sticks in people's brain.
Yeah, but if in fact, but employment and unemployment are an indicative indicator of how your economy's going, and that affects so many people that really I think it is an important story. I've done stories about unemployment for decades.
And I don't. There should be stories, but not in tandem with an election. That's all.
I think yes, you're right. The unemployment figures are important.
Yes.
And people need to know what's the status quo, and
yes.
where do we need
boring.
to improve, and where do we need to? They are boring, but I guess we've been in Australia. We've been beaten over the head with so many numbers and more numbers and more, because we just had the federal budget delivered last week, and the Victorian state budget was delivered the week before that. We're being absolutely bombarded with numbers and promises and this and that, and I'm just sick of the numbers. I'm absolutely, utterly up to my teeth with it.
Yeah.
So leave us alone, and then I'll read your unemployment figures later when I care. Right now I don't.
Okay, we have a straight question for Rachel. Rachel?
Yes?
Does the electricity go off where you are? And are you near where Tesla has installed the battery to fix it?
Oh, the battery to fix... my power doesn't go off. No, I live in Victoria. And we're at the bottom of the country, very simply. The Tesla battery is also in the south. It's in South Australia, which is my home state, and that's where that battery is being built. South Australians get their power cut off all the time, and that's because they're sourcing their electricity from Victoria. So, which just makes it all very clogged up for them. Bless them. But we don't have any problems with that so much. But the battery for the Tesla battery isn't far from me, probably about a 8 to 10 hour drive away. Okay.
Mr. Andrew says he knows what it is really. It's a kangaroo on an exercise bike charging the battery.
Well, that's what happens. No, that's not. It's actually, the electricity works pretty well. It's the internet that's the problem.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that never works properly. What are we running? Some stupid speed compared to Slovakia?
Well, this is very true. This is very, very true. I think this is an amazing story. A boy of 3 has survived a 150-foot drop down a waterfall into a pool with just a scratched face. A tourist pulled him out of the water. He said the boy should have died. But incredibly, do you know what I think it is? It's when they're like 3 years old, they've not learned how not to fall.
They don't. They relax.
Yeah.
they don't
me.
Yeah. It's like everything. When you're a kid, everything's simple. It's the grown-ups that complicate everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when you find, when do you see when a kid falls off the chair or something, they don't instantly break a leg like a footballer. They don't.
No, and they just fall. They just go with the fall. They go with the fall. I love watching people fall down. I think it's the funniest thing ever. I don't care who you are or what you're doing. When
I know you.
It's funny.
I know you.
Yeah, I bet you laugh when he broke his nail.
No, I bet she's the one in the hot Melbourne summer. You'll see somebody get into the car with shorts on onto a plastic seat. They go, ow, 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 it's hot, and Rachel laughs.
Well,
this is funny.
It's just falling. No, I only like falling down. Falling down is funny because, and the reason why it's funny, adults make it funny because they try and stop themselves from falling, and then it gets comical. If you are a little kid, you just fall down, and this is what I think has happened with this 3-year-old. He just relaxed into it and went, "Oh yeah, okay, well."
Here we go then, lads. It's a big jump.
Yeah, but his grandmother fell 25 feet as well because she tried to rescue him.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and he fell this 150 feet into 2 feet of water, and some of the tourists who were around there at the time actually thought the child was dead. And they dragged him out, and he was fine. It's an amazing story. Can we just go back to the beginning of the show because we missed out something really important?
What?
Tom Wolfe's dead.
No.
Oh, yes. Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh. How did we
The
skip him?
Bonfire of the Vanities Man.
How did we miss that?
He was great.
Because you didn't read the list and you forgot me glasses.
Hang on a
I
minute.
missed it too. I apologise.
It's my fault that you didn't bring your glasses from your hotel to the studio.
You're older than me. You should be in
Oh,
charge.
you fibber.
Oh, don't start that again.
Do you know there's a Slovak phrase for you?
What?
Pinocchio knows that.
I know, I was just going to say it, but you wouldn't let me.
Okay. Rach, I've got a question.
Yes.
Because you're a mum.
Yes.
A mother put some picture. Now, I can't believe she did it because it's kind of like gruesome, but there again, I had to look. A mother who took some pictures and put them onto Instagram has had a Barney with Instagram because they took them down and then she's had a Barney with them to get them put back up. And it doesn't actually show the girly bits. It's close, but not.
I have something
But
to...
hang on, let's explain what it is. It's
Yes.
No,
childbirth,
we all know
right?
what it is, Rachel.
No. Let Rachel explain. Rachel's the mum because I'm going to ask her
No,
the
Oh, I
question.
thought she was going to explain what girly bits were.
No.
No. She's the photos are the context of the photos is that it's childbirth. So it was her own self in childbirth.
Yes.
And no girly bits. I don't see what some of the stuff I see on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot it's horrendous. And childbirth is certainly not. And if you're a bit squeamish, there are no girly bits.
No.
And everyone has the right to publish whatever they want to publish within the bounds of, common decency. I don't think
Yeah,
there's
sure.
anything horrible about a baby covered in a bit of muck. I mean, I wouldn't do it myself.
No.
I wouldn't do. I find that's something private that I would like to keep to myself.
But
Thanks
do
very
you,
much.
as a mum, do you find that offensive?
No.
And can you? All right. The other question is: do you think it might help mums to be realising that there is an end to the 9-month period?
Well, it's like,
Bad
yes,
choice
it's
of words.
painful and it's horrible, but
True.
look what happens at the end. If pregnancy can be really difficult. Childbirth certainly hurts. But look at what you get at the end of it. This is terrific. And, once you have the baby, you just forget everything else. And that's true.
Yeah.
Well, you don't forget it straight away because it really does hurt. But you just, you don't worry about it. You just, I think what you're saying is correct. I think
I'm
it's a nice thing
bursting.
to do.
I have to say something.
What?
This is an absolute true story, which I wanted to put on the list, but I thought better of doing.
Uh-oh.
And now, this really is where people are complaining, particularly things like Instagram, are complaining about showing something as natural and in its own gruesome way beautiful as childbirth. I'm not sure who it is, but I know it's it must be the BBC or ITV, but anyway, the regulators have now decided that it is time to show standing up gentlemen's sausages on television.
Yeah, I know.
That is despicable. What's happened to the mystery of life?
Channel 4's already done that.
Well, they've done it now and again, but now it's becoming, yes, it's fine to
No,
show.
they did the late night dating show.
Yeah, that's
where
right.
everybody was naked.
But it wasn't standing up.
No, it was laying down.
Yes, but now they're going to show erect ones. And what's the need of pornography? If you're going to watch it on ITV or the BBC, why have pornography?
Don't know, can't be bothered. Anyway, we move on, and we have to say, seriously, a big thank you to wherever you are listening at the moment,
yeah.
on all the networks. It currently looks like a NASA space probe in here with all the screens on, which we don't have on all the time because that wastes energy. But because we've got all the chat rooms open, we do today.
Seven screens.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're right, there is 7 screens.
7 screens.
Blimey. But I'd just like to say a big thank you and a big to those that didn't think it was possible. As digital radio, and in particular online radio, is growing really quickly in the UK. I know it's also growing very quickly here in Slovakia. 23% now on smartphones, and funnily enough, the most listened to radio station happens to be in English. But there we go. What would I know
I wonder
about?
which one that is.
I have no idea, my darlings, but it is. So I'd just like to say well done to everybody. And online has now overtaken TV as well. So where there's radio on television, which used to be the standard thing with satellite. The online version has overtaken that. It is quite funny how people are reacting to it. Some people are going, "Oh no, not really like that. Really, it's all a load of old rubbish." It's not. And then they go, "Oh, there's only 30 people listening." Actually, somebody said, "Do you know what? There's only 30 people listening to RTI." I went, "Really? How'd you work that out?" And they said, "Because we've looked on Shoutcast." I said, "I know. That's for old people. It doesn't work for the other things anymore. We don't do that anymore. It's old tech. It's finished, has been, gone."
It's kaput.
That's the word. Rather like other stuff. What's the BBC World Service got to it? Bless them.
Oh,
Steve, what's the matter with the BBC World Service?
Why? What's he said?
I don't know, he's just put BBC World Service with a question mark. I like the BBC World... Well,
It used to be very, very good.
That's when I was here.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's when I was
That's
on it.
right, yeah, of course, yeah.
I was called a very, very strong presenting person.
Yes, words to that effect.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, what I will say is the digital age will not impact around the world in the same way. And a perfect example is Rachland.
Rachland?
Yes.
Because it can't.
That's true.
It can't.
No, it can't.
Because
really can't.
Geographically, Australia's not ready for it yet, and it will be a long time before it is. There will be new ways of doing it. Satellite down to your car for internet, that's going to happen. But at the moment, in places like Australia, like the Middle East, where you've got huge areas that are barren land, you can't cover the country with it, so therefore it's not going to be as good. But
we don't have the infrastructure to support it, and we will do. It'll happen.
Yeah,
but
it will.
At the moment, you get in your car, and you hit your FM dial, of course, and you get your DAB and all that stuff. But other than that, if you want to do things on the move, it's a lot harder. I mean, internet radio, we know you can get anything you want from anywhere in the world.
Yes.
In your home, it's really easy. On your device, it's really easy. But out in the middle of nowhere, it's just impossible.
And now, actually, in the UK, Rach, and an old buddy of mine, Chris Watford, thank you so much for the video, Chris, did this little video of RTI on his radio, and it actually cost £35. Brand new radio.
That's right, I saw it, yeah.
35 quid. But there you go. We move on. I enjoyed myself on Saturday. Rachel probably didn't. Leigh probably didn't. But I liked it anyway. The Eurovision Song Contest.
Oh, jeez.
What? What?
Oh.
It was funny.
It wasn't funny, it was rubbish.
It was hysterical.
Everybody's saying that woman who won has been putting a really philosophical message within that song. It says, "Oomba nigga boomba." That's a philosophical message.
That's your lovey critics doing it, the ones I dislike.
That was me
No,
doing
that's us doing it.
I don't
We're the
like
lovely
critics.
Why?
Because they always get it wrong.
But why do you always
They don't
criticise
always
critics
get
if
it
you're
wrong.
not a critic?
Because I'm not a critic.
Well, stop criticising critics.
But
Yeah, just because you disagree with them doesn't mean they get it wrong.
No, I've never got it wrong. I've been a critique. I've been a critique over music, theatre, film, everything. I've never got it wrong, apart from
if you would, because if I
consumerwatchfoundation.com.
played right now, which I can't,
Yeah.
because I haven't got it here, if I was to play the entry from Cyprus, which is a stunning dance track in my opinion, which is why it will appear on RTI next week in the daytime, because I'm the critic that decides, along with some other... I tell you what, the new music that's come out this week is awesome. There's no flipping ballads.
There's nothing wrong with ballads.
Of course there isn't, to make you feel my love. And if you're a critique and you're saying, "I'm playing this because I love it," isn't that voice like that?
Yes.
Yeah, then I say it's a load of rubbish and it's not appearing on my shows.
Well, you don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
But you don't have to.
I'm not doing it.
But you don't have to.
I'm not doing it.
I'm agreeing with you.
And I'm not going to make any new shows in protest for the next 5 years.
Yeah, protest shows, Rach. Let's do protest shows.
Why?
Yeah.
We're going to protest about you. We're going to stand outside the studio with placards.
We're just trying to be contrary.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we're going to stand next to the girly car.
You're being a pair of shock jocks now, aren't you?
That's right.
I haven't got any jocks on.
Yeah, your age. Actually, I will tell you, the bottom line is, when we did some research and we said to people, here, what would you like to hear during the day in your factory, your workshop, your cafe, your bar?
Sibelius.
They all said, fun, energetic music.
Well, that's all right if you're doing a job where you can do fun, energetic music. What if you're doing a thoughtful job and you need some sort of esoteric music to help you through the day?
Get in a coffin.
Get in a coffin?
Yeah, you'd be dead.
Why?
Because that's only what dead people do.
Oh, that is horrendous thing to say, Uncle Eric.
Yeah.
Uncle Leigh, strike him about.
But what did you say, Rach? Do you want me to hit him?
Strike him very.
You can see I'm not doing it on the telly.
Centurion.
Oh, no! I've given away the secret. That was a sound effect, not Leigh slapping me. Oh, dear, 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 dear.
Oh, dear.
This is a bad news having webcams, isn't it?
It is, look, yeah.
I can't fib.
You can say, I've got that sticky out bit of hair there, and I can't get rid of it. I
love
can't
it.
control it. Look.
No, it's because you're doing it back to front. Don't forget when
That's
you're on the
great.
telly, it's back to front. You're doing the wrong side of your head. Silly
I'm
boy.
not pursuing that. Why have I only got
let's leave
half head
that
on
way.
that telly?
I don't know. Anyway, a pilot who made an emergency landing, get this, after his co-pilot was almost sucked out of the aeroplane
man,
cockpit,
yeah.
has been hailed a hero. I mean, what a guy. This was an Airbus A319, which they don't know what caused the catastrophic failure.
They said it was vibrating really strongly, didn't they?
Well, that probably what did it. You could read that.
I could read that, yeah.
Blimey. Anyway, this thing broke, and luckily the co-pilot was properly strapped in, which saved his life.
Well, which bit of him went out of the plane then?
Well, the top of his torso, his head and body.
Oh, man, but yeah, but
That's
that
happening
that
too
was
much in
travelling
the
at
air.
800 to 800 miles an hour, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
when he goes boof like that and out, he's still all right. He didn't die.
What happens to that poor woman, though, is it?
Well, no.
Yes, same thing. It's just higher up, and she was hit
Yes.
by a lot of debris.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, the good thing is he managed to get this plane down to a safe oxygen altitude really quickly, reduce the speed so that it was safe to carry on. Well, if he hadn't been, they were all dead. And 128 people on board survived the whole thing, which I think is an absolute brilliant thing to do, Mr. Liu. A former flight instructor for the Chinese Air Force. Well done, that man. There's so many negative stories about China. Let's do a nice one for a change, just to be different.
Okay.
The government is in the UK to clamp down on the fixed odd betting scheme. It was 10 quid in some places. They've now taken it down to £2
Right.
as a stake you can place. Naturally, the gaming industry or the gambling industry are going, that's it, we're all going to lose 12,000 people in the jobs, we're going to have to shut shops and do. No! Load of rubbish. That is an excuse for the fact that people who don't go to the bookies, they bet online these days, and so the jobs are going anyway.
I think that's a very, very fair point. Is betting online something that should be allowed, though? Because it's not real. If you're standing in a bookie shop and you're handing money over and you're losing money hand over fist, you know you're in control of it. But online, it's like pretend money, isn't it?
It certainly is, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And they take it from your credit card the
Exactly,
minute
yeah.
you do it.
Yeah.
The gambling laws here were tightened up a bit because, everywhere was... The great idea was we'll make everybody stop saying they're casinos on the front and they have to call them cafes. So
right.
everybody's got a cafe name that everybody knows is a casino name. And I think
That was so weird. That's what I noticed, actually. It was all over Europe, but in the UK as well. We'd walk down these funny little streets and there'd be casino.
Yeah.
And I'd think, you're not a casino. You're
I'm trying to add
pretending
add
you're a
up
casino.
how many there are in Poprad. And I'm just
It's
running
amazing.
around. I'm into double figures.
Yeah, I know. I can see
Already.
it, yeah.
I'm into double figures. It's ridiculous.
Gambling is a very, very silly thing to do. We did it in Las Vegas. I lost over a period of 10 days. I think I lost around about $15 and won 3 cents.
Well, actually...
But Vegas is great because you basically eat and drink there for nothing.
Well, that's
So-
true.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
go.
we were doing. No, I took $50 with me to gamble the last time I went.
Yeah.
I got it in. I put it in for the slot machines, and I had to get a big cup to get the money.
Oh,
to pay.
here we go.
No, it wasn't a lot
Here
of money.
we go.
It was $200. It wasn't big money.
Really?
And because I'd won, my brain just said, "No more."
That's it. That's
Really,
it. Yeah.
see, that's where you differ from a lot of people because as soon as people win, they go, "Oh, I can do it again. I want to do it again." They
That's
get that
right.
rush. It's like-
I
Steve,
just
like
carried on
drugs.
until my $15 are gone.
Are you serious? Bookies ban people who are blind because they can't fill in the betting slip. Is that a joke?
That's interesting if it's true, Steve.
Yeah, I'd be very, very interested to know that. But anyway, the UK government's fixing the odds on bandits now, or one-armed bandits as we used to call them, to £2 maximum. And it just stops people getting into trouble. I don't agree with them having to do that, because I really don't. I think it should be down to people being responsible. But I do know how it affects some people, and so hey-ho, that's the way it is. And Steve says, sadly, that's true. Bookies ban blind people.
Steve, write to the Consumer Watch Foundation about it. Write to me about it, and we'll investigate it.
That's terrible.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That really
that's-
is
that's
absolutely
appalling.
disgusting.
Yeah. We're going to have to crank through some quick news. The EU countries, which includes Britain, Germany and France, have agreed to uphold the Iran nuclear deal, even though Donald Trump has said no chance. So basically, they'll get away with it. A man in the US has died when a vape pen, which is, the ciggy replacement, blew up and fragments of it went into his head.
Terrible.
That is really shocking. It really is. The world's oldest ever human.
This is the best story of the week.
I don't know if this is true
It
or
really
not.
is.
but
Yeah,
you do
because
it.
it's true.
You do it.
There's this old woman, she's 128, right?
129, dear.
Is she 129? No, well, yesterday she was 128.
Right.
Anyway, so she's had a birthday, and it was really miserable. She hated her birthday, and this is what she's told the world as the world's oldest woman. I've never had a happy day in all my life. I just wish I could shuffle off this mortal coil. I hate life. That's incredible. That's her punishment for hating life.
Right.
She hates life, and they're keeping her alive.
I wonder if she is one of these people, though, that there are these odd anomalies with older people sometimes, where they actually stay kind of really compos mentis, even at that
Oh yeah,
age.
she has a fag now and again. She's really on the ball. She goes out and does everything. She's got a problem with her eye at the moment, and she's really, really miffed about life. I think it is so funny.
The key to a long life is to be bitter and hateful, and
Yeah.
that will see you through to you really.
I'm going to live
your
till I'm
hundreds.
1,000.
Yeah, I'll be
No,
with
you're
you.
not. You're not hateful. I see what you post during the week. It's all, inspirational stuff. You're not hateful.
Oh, she's so sweet.
Isn't she nice?
Oh, you're so sweet.
Nice. I'm all covered with confusion now.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
See what you've done to him, Rachel.
covered with
I
confusion.
don't know. I was nice to him, and he doesn't know what to do.
No, I'm completely
Doesn't know
bemused
what
by
to
the
do with
whole
that
thing.
information.
Anyway, Rach, what are you doing this weekend, our kid?
Oh, so much of nothing. I'm so exhausted and tired. I just need to rest, but I do have to, as stated previously, exit the house to go and watch tap dancing and then come home.
But is it a proper theatre?
Yeah, it is. It's a proper
A pucker
theatre and
one.
pop show. It's the
Is
guys
it about
from-
plumbing?
It's the guys
Tap
from,
dancing?
It's the guys from Bootmen and those.
That's
famous,
all right, Rach.
you know.
Think of all the naughty things you can eat there.
Oh, like what?
I'm not allowed to
Popcorn,
eat naughty
chocolate.
things anymore. We're back on the wagon.
Are we?
Yeah, we're back on the no sugar, no wheat, no dairy wagon.
Oh.
I'm back on the beer wagon.
Are you?
You're always on the beer wagon.
Yeah, when
No,
did
I
you...
mean, I'm not. No, I mean, carry on. I've got a wagon.
You've got a wagon with beer
You're on
in
the
it.
wine wagon.
That doesn't surprise me at all. So what are you up to this weekend then?
I'm playing out with you.
Are you?
I don't know yet, but we probably are a bit. We tend to do that at the moment.
We might do. Shall we take the helicopter flying?
Yeah, let's. What, the real one? Oh, no, it's quite a big one, isn't
It
it?
is quite a big one, but it's not a real one. It's
But
a
I'm
model.
not doing it because if I crash it, you'll hate me.
No, you won't break it.
Please wear your glasses. I beg of you.
Yes, that is a very sensible thing to do, Rach.
Are you talking to me? Are you telling the world that I wear glasses?
Yes, I am, and that you can often not find them. So please find them.
That's because I wear glasses.
And wear them.
Right, time to say goodbye, Rach.
Goodbye, Rach.
See you next week, darling.
Okay.
Enjoy the tap dancing.
Yes.
Or as Steve says, imagine it should be fun. You can watch the dancer fall off the tap.
I hope so. Yeah,
Ho,
right
ho.
into the sink.
Ho, ho,
Enjoy
ho.
the wedding.
Sooty time.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
And that's it from Postcard from Poprad for another week. We'll be back same time, same back channel next week. And we can now leave you